So welcome back for the last case we just looked at for Friday. In this case, we are going to South America. This specific place, I've not heard of this place at all. It's referred to as Yerba Buena, who apparently is in San Luis Potosí, and apparently this is in Mexico, from what it looks like. And the geography, apparently this is really weird. And so, of course, I did get this case from Mr. Baldwin, so just before anyone says anything, I did get this case from him. In fact, he's the only source in this entire video, so he pretty much did the research for me. Of course, I did try to do my research outside Mr. Baldwin, but there really wasn't anything new except what he did. So he pretty much covered everything there was. But I am giving him credit. So if anyone says you copied, I did give him credit. Okay, in the video and in the description, he's given credit. Whereas Mr. Baldwin's video is 30 minutes, respectfully, because you gotta get that watch time. My video is probably gonna be between 5 to 10 minutes due to no information. It's gonna be 5 to 10 minutes because there wasn't as much information as I thought it would be, despite his video being 30 minutes. And so, of course, with that being said, I'm gonna stop my rambling and let's go get started.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So apparently our story starts off with these two pair of brothers named Santos and Constantino. I will try to find a photo of them because I thought this being 1960, you should have been able to find a photo of them. But I'll see what I can do before this video goes out. And so they would come to a town called Yerba Buena in late 1962 or early 1963. It is debated on which one, but they come around in that time period. And apparently this is the plan for them to get money quick. And Yerba Buena apparently was mostly illiterate and poor families with a population around 50. So pretty much they were going to be able to be easily fooled because they were not properly educated. So then, of course, they started lying to the people, saying that they were prophets and that as long as they believed in them and gave whatever few valuables they had, because remember, they were poor, that they would get the gold that was hidden in the mountains. And of course, any non-believers were punished, as you often see in cults. So then they claimed they were Incan gods, even though the Incans were actually part of Peru and not Mexico. But of course, these people are illiterate; they don't know that. So of course, they're going along with this. They believe this. So then, of course, starts the economic and sexual tributes with males and females. So basically, having little orgies here, and they would have orgies with drugs and even force some members into sexual slavery. And some girls and women were involved to be put in human trafficking, sadly, in order to put, additional money for the brothers. So eventually, as you can imagine, some people started becoming skeptical after the promises that they were told, which is the gold in the mountain for the most parts, were not being fulfilled. So I understand people are not going to believe this. So then the brothers went to Monterrey, which is in Mexico, in search of prostitutes to help them keep the act going. And then here they find Magdalene Solis and her brother. So then Magdalena was born in 1947. There is a picture that I want to believe is her, but other people have been using photos of Dagmar Overby, which I've already covered. I will leave a link to Dagmar's case if you're interested in being covering that one. So I've already covered it, so I don't need to I'll leave the link to it if you're interested in Dagmar's case. But basically, I'm gonna have a picture on the left is Dagmar, the other picture on the right was believed to be Magdalene, which I hope is Magdalene, because I don't know how you confuse Dagmar and Magdalene. Okay. So anyway, like I said, Magdalena was born sometime in 1947. We don't have an exact date. Sadly, from the age of 12, she's getting pimped out by her brother. I guess as a force of income, because they really need the money apparently. So then she would also pretend to be a psychic as an additional source of income. But apparently, the part about being pimped out by her brother, that's where apparently most of the money was coming in from. So then Magdalena apparently agreed to this, and she would come, and apparently they all called this meeting to a cave, and Magdalena would be hiding behind some flash powder. Again, they don't know this shit. So then she would come in wearing a necklace made of bones. And so they called for her. She comes behind the screen. She comes from behind the smoke, comes in, dressed with, what they thought Incan goddess would be wearing. And so this pretty much made all doubt disappear because they were like, oh, someone actually showed up. So then Magdalena sadly gets lets the lies get to her, and there's a point where she actually apparently thought she was an actual reincarnated Incan goddess. So then two members, it doesn't say how word got back to the group, but two members were planning on leaving the group because they like didn't believe what was going on, and it was too much for them. And so word got back to the brothers and Magdalena. They made the group kill the two, pretty much as a ritual sacrifice. Magdalena will somehow eventually get bored of the orgies. And these orgies, despite these orgies including incest, pedophilia, and bestiality, she started blood rituals and human sacrifice. The person who was sacrificed was beat, burned, cut, mutilated by other members of the occult before being left to bleed out to death. And their blood was eventually put into a chalice mixed with chicken blood along with weed. Because remember, this is like the 60s, so I guess like weed was going on at the time. So then, of course, Magdalena, being the supposed Incan goddess, she drank first, then the brothers, then other members, and I guess like they kept drinking till like it was empty, pretty much. So then in the ritual, the victim's heart was to be ripped out, and apparently they were still alive during this point for the most part, and the heart being ripped out would obviously be what killed them. So then Magdalena apparently would claim that the reason why she did this was because, remember, she's supposed to pretend to be this Incan goddess. As an Incan goddess, human blood is the only thing you could have, and I need to preserve my youth. Because it said that she was about 18 when all this went down. So then, fast forward, sadly, there would be a 14-year-old boy named Sebastian Garudo. I think I pronounced that right correctly. He would come across a ritual because he had heard some noise. He got curious. He went to investigate. He heard the noise. He saw the ritual. He gets terrified. And somehow the nearest police station is 25 kilometers away. It's believed he ran most, if not all the way there because he was that freaked out. So, of course, he's begging for the police to help. And they turned him away, thinking that he was mentally ill or on drugs. He comes back the next day, insisting, like, hey, I need help. You don't believe what I saw. And there was an officer named Luis Martinez who went with him, be like, hey, let's go see what's going on. Like, why are you, like, acting like this? Luis and Sebastian go to the cave together, and apparently it's not confirmed exactly what order this happened to them or anything, but basically it's the last time Sebastian and Luis are confirmed to be alive, to be seen alive, other than the group, obviously. So then after Luis didn't turn to work, because he is a police officer, they go get the Mexican army for help, and on May 31st, 1963, police and soldiers did a bust on the cave. Magdalena and Elzeliar, which is her brother, they were arrested. The brothers apparently were killed. Santos was killed by police, and Catarino was killed by a family member, killed by a cult member who like basically discovered the truth about what happened. And he wanted in on the profit, but he was denied, so he was like, I'm just going to kill you instead, and that's how he died. And so cult members who did not surrender but barricaded themselves inside were killed as well. How many of them that was, it didn't say, it just said they died as well. And so Sebastian and Luis's bodies will later be found near a farm where the Sales siblings lived on, and Luis, of course, had his heart ripped out. None of these survivors surprisingly actually testified against Magdalena, despite being offered shorter sentences, which, usually if you offer a shorter sentence, you normally do testify against the person. Don't get that shorter sentence. And all of them were given 30 years, so the ones that are still alive, they out. That's the thing, because this happened in the 1960s, so everybody out. Magdalena was sentenced to 50 years, so she was survived. Obviously, the brothers would have been sentenced to, but they're dead, so. And it is said that she did die in prison, and it said she apparently confirmed to died in prison, but despite being so well known, it was never known when she officially died. So it's said that Magdalena died, but there's no no death that's come out. So yeah, with that being said, let me know what you think down below of this. If you know anybody else from Mexico, I guess ask them, have they ever heard of this case? And so with that being said, that's all I have for this week, and I'll see you faithfuls next week. Bye.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless, I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palm. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play